is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. A lot of people have been asking me to cover this for quite some time, and thankfully, because of a subscriber on the website who goes by the name of Tony Todd, I'm assuming that's a fake name, but maybe it's his middle name. Tony Todd, he posted some of the clips so that I didn't have to go back and find the actual episode, because that was kind of what I was struggling with. It was from the X-Files in the early 90s. And of course, this is a video review, a reaction and video review of the TV show, The X-Files. I'm going to show you some really interesting stuff from the show, and we're going to discuss it, all of us. And before that, I want you to see and know that I have new stuff up in the Spread Shop store, the t-shirt store, whatever, merchandise, you know, whatever place will take me at this point, because most of them seem to throw me off. I don't really know what I do, but I have a couple of designs that I've created. So if you want to support the channel, this is a way. You've got your Real American Horror Story shirts with the hive mind. Of course, you have, is that Billy? Yeah. And then you got, of course, The Good Doctor. Those are available, as well as the real Living Dead. Just paying homage to the movie Night of the Living Dead, of course. You can see what's going on there. I've got a Nightmare on Pennsylvania Ave shirt, which is pretty interesting. You can figure out what's happening there. Make America Straight Again, of course. That is about making America straight as an arrow. But I mean straight like, you know, strong. And walking the fine line. Don't do drugs, kids, that kind of a thing. So in case anyone's confused. And I have another shirt coming soon. We should be there within the next day or so, which is, it'll be a surprise shirt, but it has to do with the movie They Live and Sheeple. So definitely check that out. And that's the way you can support the channel. So those are there and available now. Now, The X-Files is a show that's been going on for quite some time. Some say The X-Files might have the most predictive program out of any show. Now, I've never really been a fan of any show, and I haven't seen too many X-Files shows, but I've covered a bunch of them recently, especially when the show came back, talking about, of course, the uploading into the virtual world where the people's consciousnesses live forever, and then they become self-aware and they want out. They want to destroy the quantum computers. A lot of unbelievable predictive programming with the show. And this, to me, is probably the best episode that I've seen, so we'll review it together. But I want you to take a look at these scenes merged together. Of course, keep an eye on some of the dialogue in there, like creating something, a matrix, watching how, I mean, this is about, of course, aliens, aka demons. This is about them, and well, it's just really interesting stuff, and they talk a lot about carbon, so check it out.
Got the plan?
What is it?
I think I found it. I think I found what the carbon's doing. It's not just reproducing itself, it has behavior. It's creating something, a matrix stimulated by blood flow in response to movement. It's multiplying, then solidifying in an orderly fashion. It's building valves or dams in the vascular system.
It's building a heart attack.
Dr. Plant? You do blood work on a Walther scanner?
Yes.
I just heard on the radio there's a Walther scanner who's been picked up by paramedics at a parking garage downtown. Where are they taking him? DC General. Cassandra, you were found in a train car. You've been operated on by doctors. Yes, that's right. And these are the doctors who cured you? No, the aliens cured me. The doctors were working with the aliens. That's what I wanted to tell you.
What?
I told you that the aliens were here to do good and that I was being used as an oracle to spread the word. Well, now I know what the aliens are here for, and it isn't good.
What are they here for?
To wipe us off the planet. They're taking over the universe. They're infecting all other life forms with a black substance called purity. It's their life force. It's what they're made of.
It's the virus, the black oil.
But son, the doctors weren't infected. They were burned by another race of aliens. A rebel force that are mutilating their faces so that they won't be infected.
So that was pretty interesting, right? Talking about carbon, watching it mutate in there, really cool. What a great writing on the show, right? That's what I wanted to do the video. Talk about the writing, really impressive. And then, of course, at the end, talk about the destruction of the human race, that the demons, were here to do good, but really, the demons are here to destroy, to wipe us off the planet. That's what the woman says at the end. So, I mean, the aliens. Did I say demons? I must have misspoken. Right. They used to call them demons when Aleister Crowley was, summoning them. And then he says, one day they'll be called something else. And I wonder if that could be aliens. Of course, that's exactly what it is. Now, for those of you wondering, they were talking about carbon, right? And I was just thinking, wow, that's really neat, right? What great writing about carbon. Look at that. Look at the carbon. Recently, I heard something about carbon atoms, and I figured I'd put this clip in there and let you guys see for yourselves.
Carbon is an essential element of life and is also one of the most abundant elements on Earth. Carbon occupies a place in the second row of the periodic table, right above silicon. A single carbon atom consists of 6 protons, 6 or 7 neutrons, and 6 electrons. A well-known example of carbon is the tip of pencils. The tip of pencils consists of graphite, which refers to a collection of carbon atoms, layers of carbon atoms. Each layer of the carbon atoms form a honeycomb structure, which is called graphene.
Right, so that's you're getting like a science lesson within a TV show. So it's crazy. What wonderful writing. They don't make shows like this anymore, do they, folks? I mean, I don't know what else I could possibly say at this point, right? Because, you don't want it to be too obvious when they're watching you 24/7. But they said, I think I found what the carbon's doing, was one of the lines in that scene. And then you just saw the scene with the 6, of course, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, which is pretty interesting. And what it was doing, the carbon in there, is it was mutating and growing within somebody, right? So the aliens or demons, I should say, were mutating with humans. So interesting stuff. The X-Files is always bringing you real creative writing. There's nothing going on that could they must just pull these types of storylines out of their rear ends. There's just such wonderful writing and so much realism in it. So much amazing science fiction in it. Boy, you just wonder where they get the stories like this and why there's so much predictive programming. And then, of course, one of my favorite lines in the scene was, how in the world would they get that into his bloodstream? I have no idea. No idea how they could have got it into that guy's bloodstream in the TV show. Do you guys have any ideas how the guy in the TV show could have possibly gotten it into his bloodstream? Boy, it's a great mystery, isn't it? He would have had to have done something to get it in his bloodstream. But that's the X-Files for you, always leaving the mystery open for you to observe and to try to figure out on your own. So, the X-Files, ladies and gentlemen, showing you all this stuff. Oh, boy. What a show, right? My review for the show, of course, this is a video review of the TV show, The X-Files. I give it 2 thumbs down. 2 thumbs down. I don't like what they're doing here. I'm sure you guys agree. And I want to remind everyone again, these thanks to Tony. He was able to clip these things, or at least post these things from someone else who might have clipped them, so that it makes it easier for me to do videos. Most of you, I don't know if you know, but going through a lot of these shows and videos and then clipping it together just takes a lot of time to find some of these things. It's not like I'm watching every one of these shows. People seem to think that I'm just sitting around watching TV all day. In fact, people are feeding me this information a lot of the times, or I'm reading about it somewhere, and then I'm trying to find the episode or the movie and then clip it together so you can see it. The same with Moonfall. It's not like I went to the theater and saw it, and I have no plans to ever watch it. But, you know, I've had to find the clips from the movie because it's a new movie and find it in the trailer and piece it together. So, thankfully to Tony, I was able to do that. And everybody on the website is doing this type of stuff to help out the channel. So, please consider helping out this channel and joining the website. You can share things like this, the things that you want me to cover or think I need to cover. Obviously, I'm not going to cover everything. Some people ask me to cover some stuff that, you know, I mean, what is it, K-pop or whatever the pop is in Japan or the Orient. I can't cover every single thing, but I try to cover everything with relevance. And of course, things that are trending and being pushed, because they're obviously subliminally pushing things down everyone's throats because they want everyone to see it. That's why I cover a lot of the music videos that are showing you the black goo and everything else. So the website's a great place to do this and share that stuff. So please consider joining. I want to remind you once again, I did earlier in the video, that there is new merchandise available. Of course, you have your Nightmare on Penn Ave. Some of them do make me laugh. They all make me laugh. That's why I made them. The Real Living Dead, and of course you have the American Horror Story, the Real American Horror Story. Of course with the Hive Minds, and then you have that new version of the MAGA shirt for those big MAGA supporters. But this is a more important cause, I think. So definitely check it out. If you haven't, that's another way you can contribute to the channel or help the channel out. And I appreciate all of you being here so much. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel as always. I hope you're doing well. God bless you and your families.